I used to think school was tough, but as I'm helping my nephew with schoolwork, I can't help to feel like it has gotten tougher, and I'm definitely not the only one. To find out, I'll be taking a walk down memory lane, trying out different exam papers from across the last decade to see if it has indeed gotten tougher. To get started on my experiment, I'm heading down to Bras Basah Complex, the ultimate spot for educational materials, and I'll be grabbing some PSLE and O-level English, Math and Science papers from the early 2000s. Oh, they have the latest prelim examinations, which is this year. Oh, I should try these. Okay, pay this one. Okay, so I've finally gotten all the exam papers, PSLE papers from 2012, and then I will compare with 2024. I'm going to try. Wish me good luck. Let's go. Alright. Okay, I want to start with Maths and Science first. English cannot be that hard, right? I don't know. This is giving trauma! There were 212,089 visitors to a tourist attraction last year. Express this number to the nearest 1,000.
A few moments later.
How would I know, sia? Looks like all the answers are correct, eh? I'm too old for this. So it's 60 degrees per side. The answer is 56. Let's see if... Hey, wait, what? I can't believe... I can't do this. I'm a bit delirious now because it's like close to 11 p.m. Oh, while I struggle with some of these papers, I feel like I want to bring them out on the streets to test Singaporeans if they fare well. Let's go! So let's do prelim foundation. What is the missing number in the box? Alamak. Alamak.
700.
Congrats!
Yeah!
The figure shows 8-point compass. Ali was facing southeast at first, and he turned 135 clockwise. Which direction is he facing now?
West. Plus 4.
Correct. Not bad. You are the fastest so far. Let's move on to PSLE 2023. What is the missing number in the box?
27.3. I cannot do fractions. You know fractions I failed.
So, you want to give up?
Yeah, I give up.
Oh. Let's try Raffles Girls prelim paper.
I don't know.
Oh, but like this is all this basic stuff I forgot already, bro.
It's basic.
Yeah.
Time's
Yeah,
up!
paper
Peh,
one.
peh,
Last one.
peh. Cannot. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, you all failed. So guess the difficulty of each paper from foundation
Okay.
to PSLE 2012 to 23
2012?
and 24.
So I feel like this is the foundation one. Like I think this is easier. Actually, I think that this one is 2012.
This one is 2012?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this
Followed
will
by
be...
this one. This will be PSLE 2012.
And this.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Actually, nice, congrats. Wow, after hitting the streets and testing Singaporeans, I can't help to think that the papers have definitely evolved. But what changed? Comparing math and science PSLE papers over the years, the questions have evolved to become more application-based and that of higher order thinking skills. Taking science for example, back in 2012, you might get a straightforward question about the life cycle of a frog, simply asking you to recall the facts. Fast forward to 2023, students might be asked to draw the life cycle, explain the scientific concepts behind it, and analyze how these processes relate to real-life events. In mathematics, the proportions of the mathematical concepts tested were similar to both 2012 and 2023. I also noticed that the questions for the factors and multiples in the 2023 paper is harder than 2012, but on the other hand, the concept of geometry is harder in the 2012 paper compared to the one in 2023. It seems like the difficulty of the PSLE questions varied at different years. The syllabus keeps evolving. When I researched online, I found that new updates are indeed being introduced, with a revised syllabus set to be fully implemented by 2026. These updates will gradually impact students in Primary 4 to Primary 6 over the coming years. Some topics have been moved to earlier or later grades to make learning have a more logical flow. For example, concepts like pie charts and nets are now taught earlier in Primary 4, while speed is removed entirely from PSLE syllabus. Overall, the changes seem to aim for a more balanced learning experience for mathematics. While we want to take education seriously, too much pressure can be overwhelming. I want to hear it from a parent who's navigating this with their kids right now. This is Monique, an ex-primary school MOE teacher, now a private home tutor who has 3 kids in primary school.
Even if you talk about the lower primary levels, they are doing things which are much harder than maybe easily 5-6 years ago. Yeah. So all of us tutors are also kind of scrambling and trying to come together to really adjust to the things. But definitely, it has gone more challenging.
Do you think the stress is necessary for the students, especially in primary school?
While we also want to manage their stress by not being too rigorous, but at the same time, because PSLE is still around, if you don't expose them or prepare them for that paper, then they definitely will fall behind. So I feel it's a slight necessary evil almost to have to make them go through this.
Even as a tutor, because and how do you keep yourself updated?
Good question, because once I was out of MOE, I had to rely on a lot of other school test papers. That's your 1 month benchmark for me to understand the changes. Of course, I still have many wonderful friends who are still in school, so they help me, give me some updates if there's any.
What are some of the stresses that you have to carry, guiding your kids in school?
I'm a tutor and I teach other children, right? And then I have my own kids. So mom guilt is very real, where because of my livelihood, I need to teach these pupils. But by the time I come home, I'm so exhausted. And I feel like I neglect them sometimes. Because definitely the comparison, am I doing enough for my own child? Comes very much so. Even in, say, a parents group chat, you have parents going, hey, who wants to buy this extra test paper for your child? Sometimes it's hard to escape the comparisons, right?
But you just want the best for your kids, right?
I mean, who doesn't? Which parent doesn't, right? For me, it's really down to so long as you've done your best and you have put in the effort that you feel is enough, and not like you blindly and you don't care, you just do the paper with eyes closed, So long as you have really put in your best foot forward, I think that's all we want.
What about parents who might not have the same resources as Monique does to cope with the changing curriculum? This is Aisha, a parent of 3 kids, 2 of whom have learning differences. She considered moving to JB due to the rising level of difficulty in Singapore's education system.
I have friends who migrate to JB and actually send their kids to schools there, because the international schools there, the class size is maybe half or 3 times smaller. So their curriculum is also slightly different. But some schools also offer like O-level and all that. We did actually explore some schools over there.
Do you actually live there now?
Yeah, as and when we will go back.
What made you want to consider going
Yeah,
to JB?
because now all the 3 kids are in different schools, so it's a bit difficult because they all go home at a different timing. And you know that our time, like secondary school, we go back at like 12 or 1. Now they don't go back that time, They go back like 4, even before CCA. So we thought we want a less stressful environment for them over there.
Oh, so you feel like...
Yeah, I'm scared here they will be stressed, but they seems to want to be here more,
Oh, it's actually great to hear that actually.
Yeah, correct.
Like, it's their decision.
Yeah, it's their decision, because my husband said, just go lah without, but I feel like it's their future. We have to ask them, their opinion and all that. I asked so many times and they are always telling me they want to stay here.
I'm so happy that you're having like all these open conversations
Yeah,
with your kids.
because I don't know because
No, you're such a great mom.
yeah, because I feel that
I need tissue.
yeah.
So I read this article recently by Minister Chan Chun Sing. He commented, removing PSLE will not remove stress. What do you think of this? Do you
I
think-
actually had a discussion with myself about this.
Oh,
Okay, I feel like, you know, like P1, P2, they remove tests or
Yeah,
whatever.
they remove the test, right? Yeah.
Because I have two that, one is still doing P1, P2 tests, like class tests or whatever. This one not even doing anything, then suddenly you...
Can be a
you know,
shock, huh?
Yeah,
It
it's
can
a
be a
shock. So they like, examination anxiety. The teacher actually told me, my son, like in class, like work, all that, he can do, but when tests, something's not right.
Right.
You not continuing every year is also more stressful, like from my point of view, I guess.
talking to Aisha was truly inspiring. Now let's head back out on the streets and hear what Singaporeans have to say about the academic rigor in the country. Do you think the education system has gotten slightly tougher?
I feel like it will be different for everyone because for me personally, I think it's hard because since young I couldn't really cope with studies, but I feel like for other people who like have more help and all, they probably find it more easier.
If I were to compare it to like the last national exam that I took, which is O-levels, right? I always felt that my school papers were much harder than O-level papers.
I do feel like there's a bit more application needed now than last time, or maybe there are some concepts that we didn't used to have to do in primary school.
Do you think this kind of stress is necessary for primary school students?
If it's secondary school, I'll understand it better. But primary school students, they should still be able to have their childhood, you know. When you put like such difficult questions, in my opinion, for 12-year-olds to experience when they should be able to like go out and have fun with their friends, it's just a lot of unnecessary pressure.
I think the stress is like unnecessary, yeah. But I think it's normal for a Singaporean to think that you need that stress to like reach to the top.
It seems like we have mixed reactions on whether the stress is necessary. Earlier, I compared the differences of math and science papers over the years. Let's see how it is for English. So for English papers, I have visual text comprehension. Basically, I want to try this because it requires higher order thinking skills and you have to do a lot of reading, inferring and pay attention to details. So let's see how they fare. Let's go. I need a pencil.
A few minutes later.
Question number 1. Correct. This answer is number 3. Correct. The answer is number 3. Correct. Yay, full marks. Okay, now for 2023 paper. Huh? Wow. That's the amount of things you need to read. It's a lot of text for a website. But how many questions are there? Like 8 questions. Oh, there's more. Oh wow. So I feel like this paper is already very difficult.
6.5 hours later.
First one, correct. Second one, correct. Third one. Oh no, I'm wrong. Oh, you need to be a member. Okay, it's inferred. I inferred wrongly. Because down here, it says you need to be a member and then you can enjoy the discounts. Okay, 24. Answer is number 1. Wrong. It's number 1. Number 1. What is wrong? Oh my god. Number 1. Huh? No, number 3, meh? Oh my goodness, the answer is 4. Oh my goodness, so many mistakes. I only got 2 right. I noticed that back then, it was all about basic grammar rules, basic comprehension, and writing in a clear, structured way. Today, the focus has shifted to testing higher order thinking skills. Take visual text comprehension, for example. In the 2012 paper, finding the answers was pretty straightforward. For instance, a 1-mark question might ask, where should the registration for the cooking course be done? The answer could easily be spotted here. But today, the questions have become more complex. For example, in the 2023 paper, the visual text given was a website of 2 pages with a lot of information to digest. Now students are expected to infer from the questions such as this one, which is a type of question that asks you to identify something that is not the case. This gets students to analyze images, ads or diagrams and figure out the deeper messages behind them. As the education system evolves, more parents are turning to tuition centres to seek help. I met Andrea, a former MOE teacher, now an owner of the Collective Knowledge Tuition Centre, and had a chat with her.
I think back then, obviously, I would say like we don't grow up, having tuition as a norm. But I would say now tuition is definitely a norm. Yeah, so liken it to like everybody going to the gym to, exercise. Because sometimes what happens in school, right, is that they really just have not much time. They just focus really teaching them the topics only, right? But then what happens to the bulk of the time where they really need it to learn these heuristic skills? They don't have that much in school time. I mean, I was an ex-MOE teacher before. It can be quite challenging having me to give like extra help after school for so many students, right? Because we also have teachers who have to do like CCA or the other admin work and all. So if they really have parents that are able to provide for them financially, right, provide for them tuition, and they're really learning help, as in they're getting good help, right? I'm happy.
Right.
But I think the stress comes, right, is when parents really have expectations and they want jump in grades. But I would say over the years, right, I'm really seeing increasingly that parents are actually a bit more understanding than before.
Okay.
Really, because I think they know their schedule can be more packed than even an adult. Trust me.
A lot
Because they
of
have like, can you
capacity.
imagine like they have free tuition, then they've got CCA, then they've got everything. So every Monday to even sometimes Saturday, Sundays, their schedule are all packed.
Wow.
Because some of them even have music commitments, sports commitments. So it's not just academic.
Do you feel like the students these days, they are well equipped with the level of rigor in the curriculum?
If parents do really provide their kids with the means like tuition, then I think they're a little bit more equipped.
Okay.
Because like I say, the exposure, right? The regular exposure to exam type questions. And so as long as the center is teaching them how then to apply, how to understand the question, what is the question asking. So these frameworks, these guidance help them. I'm not advocating that tuition is necessary. I'm just saying it's a norm now, right? So because of that, I would say they are quite equipped, quite well equipped to tackle these exam challenges. So what happens is that they realize students are generally okay with regurgitation. So what happened is that questions now, there are a little bit more now, application type of questions. Let's talk about secondary math, right?
Sure.
E-math. Now there is some percentage of the questions that are not just solving, but explaining to differentiate out those who should really deserve the A1, A2. For sciences, for example, we have like keywords that we got to use. So for, I think, American syllabus, for example, when they did math or sciences, right? I think so as long as they get the idea there, they get the marks. So as long as they get the final answer correct for the math, even though the method may not be what we taught them, they're willing to accept it.
How do students with learning differences manage? Supporting students with learning differences is a crucial part in our ever-changing education system. That's why I'm here to speak with Nina, a senior educational therapist, to learn more.
Actually, there's a lot of parts to it.
Okay.
While I'm teaching special needs kids, right, I see that they usually come to me feeling very discouraged. Yes. So as a therapist, usually I don't work on the academics first.
Okay.
I will build their self-confidence first because that's the foundation, I would say. In order for academic to be, you can see that academics flourish or excel in certain aspects. So we tap on our students' strength and then we build up from there so that when they are more confident, they feel more assured, they will want to do more.
Do you feel that the education system has gotten tougher through the years?
I mean, if personally for me, I would feel, yes, I feel that it's getting more challenging compared to our times. I think our generation will be very different, right? Right now, there's more critical thinking skills that they need to, answer questions to. But that doesn't mean that they're not able to answer because sometimes some of them can be quite creative. So every student, we will cater to their individual learning needs. So at the end of the day, I think parents, therapists, and the student, we have to work together.
So, after hearing from everyone, it's clear that our education system has definitely evolved. Whether or not it's tougher really depends on who you ask, but one thing's for sure, it's definitely different. I guess the question now is, how do we adapt to these changes while we still keep the well-being of our students in mind? What do you think?